Hi, everyone. It's Paul Ward here, and welcome to another 15 minutes. I'm excited today. We have a special guest who's going to tell us all about cleaning and the importance of cleaning, and some good old-fashioned horror stories of folks that have not kept up on their house cleaning. Mayra Valencia with Mayra's Helping Hands. Welcome to 15 minutes.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you've been deep cleaning folks' homes for a while, and I'm sure you've got lots of stories to tell. How long have you been in this business?
So I've been in business for 8 years, but legit with the permit and with the license for going on 3 years now.
Okay. And what made you want to get into this world of deep
So
cleaning?
yeah, I had no idea that I was gonna be a professional house cleaner. I just kept getting compliments. I was working for a realtor out in Westlake, and every time he would sell a house, he would always ask me, as his house cleaner, hey, how much would you charge me to clean this house before I sell it? So that's when I would go out, give him quotes, and I said, I could do this because this is what I do.
Mhm.
And I love making a difference in people's lives because it does make a difference having a clean home.
Mhm. And,
Hmm.
and I mean, for full disclosure and for our watchers out there, I hired you recently, and the house that I invited you over to was, I would say, in the nasty category. It's 4,700 square feet, and the person living there had, you know, lots of animals and tenants, and cats were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do on the carpet, and I don't think the bathroom had ever been touched.
Hmm.
So I just kind of ran in and ran out and said, "Oh man, I can't sell this property." And what did you do? I mean, it was quite the story.
Yeah, well, first off, I remember when we went and did the walkthrough, I could already see the molds in the dark, and I said, no way. So when I turned on the light, I couldn't believe my eyes of how bad that toilet was. It's the worst toilet I have seen and that I have worked with.
Right.
And it literally took me almost 3 hours to clean that toilet.
3 hours on one toilet.
Yes,
And
because I had to scrub, and that was so much built up of it was just, I don't know what it was. It was just everywhere in the toilet. All the rim was so bad. It really took, and I went through, I believe, 8 pumice stones.
wow, I was gonna ask you, what do you use? I mean, obviously a pumice stone, but
Mhm.
I mean, are you just using Mr. Clean? I mean, you've probably got to be using some pretty heavy duty
You know,
chemicals.
what works fine? I mean, what works really good is it's a spray called Awesome, and it's a degreaser, but it works amazingly on a bunch of other stuff as well. And I use that for the heavy duty grease behind like the stoves. When I do deep cleaning, I pull the stoves out to make sure that it's cleaned fully underneath and around all sides.
Hmm.
And that is my go-to spray. It is cheap to buy, but it's very, very good. So without that and that without the pumice stone, I don't know how that toilet would have ever gotten cleaned.
Right. I mean, it looked new. I mean, I was surprised. I think most people would have just given up on it and just said, "Hey, the toilet needs to be replaced." But you made it shine.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I
So
did.
also this particular house had kind of a arachnophobia thing going on, right? I mean, it was like this was the spider house.
There was spiders everywhere, everywhere, every corner, everywhere, underneath places that you never thought spiders could be. They were, because there's a lot of stone over the overhead of the stove, and there were so many spiders in there that were camouflaged. So I literally had to put a helmet on and get my heavy duty vacuum,
Like it was a motorcycle helmet
a motorcycle,
because they were like
because I
literally
didn't know
crawling in your house.
how. to avoid it. I didn't know, like, there's no way I'm gonna have these spiders land on me. And that's, just the staircase alone had, I think that was the habitat where the spiders had their big, I mean, just, it was, I've never seen that many spiders or dealt with that many spiders before.
And you got a vacuum cleaner with a very long tube, right?
Extension,
Extension
yes,
tube, sucking them up.
yes.
Wow. And you brought in a crew. I mean, it's not just you. I mean, this is a person job.
Yes, yes. And it's good because I had a that was a good time in my business to test my employees out to see how good they did because it was an empty house and you know, uh, how they can handle a situation like that with so many insects and just the urine that was involved from the cats and all the cat hair that was left behind and oh, so it really showed what my employees are capable of doing, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah. And you also see, I mean, that was obviously a very dirty house and, not much house cleaning going on there at all. But you also see hoarding, right? Where people just can, for whatever reason, just can't seem to throw anything away.
Yes. I mean, to where the elastic is disintegrating
Hmm.
from whatever pants they had. And, I go in there and I have to ask them, okay, we need to get rid of some of this stuff in order for me to clean because, and it was so hard for them to let go of stuff. It's just, but I had to do it, whether I had to sneak in some items because, they just, people they don't realize what accumulates when they hoard, I mean,
Right.
from rats to, the poops and, I mean, dead things that are behind boxes that they didn't know that were there because they don't ever get move their stuff.
Right. Now, who
They
who
have
would
their little trail of just going where they need to go, and it's like, really? Like, but that's how some people live.
who would bring you in?
A friend. One of them was a friend, and the other one was a realtor that needed help with the hoarding process to move somebody out in order for me to clean their house. So a Facebook friend reached out to me and said that his friend needed desperate help with her house. She has 2 kids, she has a dog, and yes, it was a very, very overpacked house. And it, in a way, it's sad to see that people live like that, not realizing that their children are living in the same way. And so it was a big relief for me to know that I was going to make a change in somebody's life, like a literal change in somebody's life.
Right.
So I I did it, and she was so happy. She cried and she said she couldn't believe it. And the friend just kept referring me and referring me. So it's all just based, on my referrals that I get business.
Sure. Now, in that particular situation, did the person who lived there, the hoarder, have to leave, or were they there kind of saying, "Oh, don't throw this out. I need to keep that." No,
No,
don't.
the friend took her to leave because, or else I don't know how attached she was to her stuff, but he just said, make it happen. And I mean, there was a dumpster outside, and I could just make sure she doesn't look in the dumpster, So yeah, I did it. I mean, a bunch of expired food. I mean, expired food that people don't realize that expire. Canned food expires.
Oh, wow.
Spices expire.
Right.
So I mean, from 2014, there was one from 2012. Spices do expire. So yes, she had to
2012. Yeah.
leave. She had to leave. Yes.
Now we're coming up on the first day of spring is right around the corner, and the term spring cleaning is here for a reason. Tell us about that. I mean, people have kind of been holed up in their homes for months. Now winter is ending and spring is here, and I'm sure there's a lot of germs floating around inside people's homes from hibernating all winter long.
Yes, absolutely. So spring is right around the corner, and it's very important to get at spring cleaning because yes, we were in winter where a lot of rain happened. People were in and out of their homes. The pets were in and out from their walks and stepping in the water, bringing in the germs, the bacteria, the dust that accumulates because people keep their windows closed because it's cold outside. So dust is dead skin cells. And people need to remember that so they know it's not just dust, and it's skin cells that are accumulating that you are shedding, and not just yourself, your spouse, your partner, whoever lives in the home.
Maybe other people, but not me.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very important. And also, the holidays are all, past. So it's a good time to let go of the old stuff and, organize, store your new stuff, or, put away your new stuff that you got during the holidays.
Right.
And that way you don't become a hoarder, or you don't just have stuff, unnecessary stuff that is literally just laying there and it's going to lay there for years. You have to ask yourself, do I really need this? Am I really going to use this in the future?
Right.
If you have double, throw one out or donate one, so that way you don't have double. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And I would think that, winter is is flu season, right? And so one person in the house gets sick, and then it's very easy for somebody else to get sick. And then
Yes.
some snot-nosed kid touches their nose, and then he touches the refrigerator handle, and that's
Yes.
how germs spread, right?
Yes, and it's also very important to disinfect. Disinfecting is a big factor when it comes to Mayra's Helping Hands. Every time after my clean, I disinfect the whole house. So I leave knowing that everything was disinfected, cleaned thoroughly, and my work was done correctly.
What would be the one piece of advice that you could give folks out there to minimize on the germ spreading? What would you say would be the one thing that they could do? I mean, they're not going to be as thorough as you because you're the professional, but what could they do to kind of minimize the germ spreading around the home?
So I would suggest with the Lysol, the sanitized, just Lysol, the doorknobs, just the places that are generally used every day, the bathrooms, do a wipe down. They have the Clorox wipes. After a deep clean, you should get Clorox wipes and just on a daily basis, because they're everywhere. When you come outside, outside from outside, you're bringing everything from outside inside.
Right.
So I just suggest you do a quick wipe down and you just spray the disinfect. Do not wipe down the disinfect, just let it dry on its own, because it will not disinfect if you wipe it off right away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
So if you use a wet wipe on a kitchen countertop, you should not go back over it with a cloth or a paper towel. Just let it.
You can, so the wetness, it's not so wet. And then just lightly spray some Lysol, but let it just sit and don't wipe the Lysol off.
Gotcha. So what's your territory, Mayra? How far do you reach?
I go anywhere from LA to Santa Barbara. So
Oh, wow.
I've been asked to go to Fraser Park and Las Vegas, and I don't mind. It's what I love to do, and if the price is right, and I can make a change in somebody's life, then I definitely would I would definitely go and have my employees stay here and take care of my business here.
Gotcha. And if the job was big enough, of course, you'd have to, take them
Oh,
with
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
And how can folks reach you? What's your best phone number?
So I have a Facebook, Mayra's Helping Hands, also an Instagram. I
Okay.
have an email address, myra's.helpinghands@gmail.com. My phone number is 805-261-6058. Either a text or phone call is fine.
Wonderful. Well, Mayra Valencia with Mayra's Helping Hands, thank you so much for being our guest on this 15 minutes. I'm sure that our folks appreciate what you have to share, and I'm sure they've learned a lot. And of course, folks, if you like this episode, please be sure to subscribe and tune in next time.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Myra.
You too. Thank you, Paul.